hope you enjoyed the ride.
A few weeks ago, we managed to catch the multimedia screening of this film called Kill, which has been quite killing it at the box office recently. And joining us for his first, I believe, his first UK interview, it's Laksh, who I absolutely loved in the film, and I think he's definitely the next big thing to happen to Bollywood. So thank you so much,
Thank you so
Laksh,
much.
for joining us, and congratulations on the absolute go fest of box office collections that the film is making.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Manoj.
Right, look, Laksh, let's rewind a little bit up to a kill. Obviously, I think there was so much noise about your debut with a particular film that was supposed to happen, but then things didn't happen. But after Kill sort of came your way, uh, how much did it take you by surprise as an artist at that point? And how, after going through this whole process of, training and seeing the film, I'm sure, how satisfied do you feel as an artist with this being your first film?
I think I'm 100% satisfied with this product that we have delivered as a team. And I think I've been saying this since the time the film has come out that I couldn't have asked for a better debut than this. The kind of work that we all have done, the kind of work the efforts that I got to put in, and the hard work that I have done for this one. And it's something it is very, very rewarding because I think when you really work hard for something, when you really give it all your time and all your efforts, and when it fructifies into something like this, it translates into something like this, it really feels great. And I think my whole belief system of working hard and staying consistent and staying positive and have your patience and everything that I used to believe in, it has all worked out pretty well for me. So I think yeah, it's a great thing.
Sure. Now, I think when you're playing an action hero, there's so much that kind of one has to bear in mind. I mean, you obviously have to have the right posture, for executing the scenes. You obviously seem to have trained really hard, for the film. How grueling was the experience of you getting the right nuances during the action choreography and the prep process for you?
So I've had some experience in action before. I've done a show called Porus that used to come on Sony TV,
Mm.
which came out in like 2018, I think. So I've had my share of experience doing action, but this kind of action was very different for me. The choreography was very different. The punches were very different. And when Mr. O came on board, he, I think he changed everything about action that I knew. So I had to like begin from scratch, and I had to unlearn everything, and I had to learn new things. So that was quite challenging for me, but I think it was at the same time a lot of fun. I got to learn so much from Mr. Rohan Parveshik during the process of the film, and I think action is something that uh, I think comes very naturally to me. Just the whole stature, just somewhere. I think I also found myself, while how you do something and how you discover something, it's meant for you. And I think while doing action in this film, I really discovered and learned so many new things about myself and my own body that I never knew that existed. So I think with the help of this film, uh, I've really found some comfort zone with action.
Hmm.
So I think I'm blessed. Plus a lot of work that has gone into it, and we prep for like 8 months consecutively for this film, day in day out, no days off, and be it like martial arts, be it everything. But more than the physical aspect of it, the mental and emotional aspect played a huge role for me. If you see the whole film will last for like 2 hours. The journey is from it will only last for 2 hours, but it took us 70 days to shoot the entire film. So to maintain that emotional continuity, to the fatigue of the character, because with each passing scene, the character is getting more and more drained. He's getting more and more tired. So that was the more challenging part for me to like make it more real, to make it more convincing. To everything should look floaty. It should not look there's a jump or there's a suddenly the actor is looking fresh. He's not able to maintain the emotional or physical continuity of the previous scene. So I
Hmm.
think that was the most challenging part for me in this film.
And I think I'm glad you mentioned the whole emotional part because I feel like when we talk about you and Raghav, for example, because I'd interviewed him recently and I spoke about, the sort of mindscape he was in because his character was far more twisted than yours. But
Yeah.
obviously you've got so much at stake in terms of the character and what he's going through and in the film itself. How do you as an artist kind of because see, method acting only works for a certain path and a certain character graph, and not every role merits or warrants that sort of a style of acting, right? So what was your nearest reference point that you sort of tapped into to actually bring out those emotions?
Um, See, there was no reference as such because you cannot find a reference of the character that I've done. Like I
Mm,
had no dialogues in the film at all. I had nothing to say. Like I only had like 5 or 6 dialogues. That's all. So for me, the challenging part was to stay true to myself and believe in what I'm doing. As simple as that. Like there was occasion like you've seen the film. You see, my character goes through so many emotional turmoils. There's like everything happening in every scene. Something or the other is happening with him, and he doesn't have words to express. And for an actor, when you don't have dialogues, when you don't have words, you really feel helpless. You really feel that you don't have your weapons. And for me to battle that was actually quite hard because just because when you don't have words as an actor, you really feel helpless. You feel that, okay, how do I express now? How do I tell the audience that I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling? So I
mm,
think physicality has a lot to do with it. That's why when I was doing action, I was making sure that every punch that that I gave or every action sequence should deliver some kind of emotion as well. It should
mm.
not only be about punching somebody or kicking somebody or you have to look cool while doing it. That was never the intention. I was hell bent on one thing that every punch of mine should have some emotion behind it,
Sure. And I
some
think
motive behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also it's quite interesting because obviously for us as the audience, we don't know what you've used to signify something. So for example, the brains would be like what cottage cheese, the blood
Yeah,
would be beetroot. So
correct.
I
Yeah,
think for you as actors again, because it's almost like horror, isn't it? Because like I feel like with horror, because we're seeing the final product, we've not seen the actual efforts that have gone behind the scenes.
right, right.
But how does that sort of have an impact of the way you project that? I mean, is there ever like a dichotomy because it's obviously not real blood, you obviously know it's not real organs, but yet you
Yeah.
have to project it in a way that it actually comes across as that, so the audience then feels that. Do you ever feel like a dichotomy as an artist when sort of performing and then also thinking about the final outcome of what it could be?
I mean, initially it used to like when I just started off my career in the first 1 or 2 years, I used to feel that what am I doing, man? I'm fooling myself. I'm lying to myself all the time. What am I doing? But then that's when the skill comes in, and you have to like Shah Rukh Khan. I think remember said this in one of the interviews that he can romance a tree also now. So sometimes you really have to like fool yourself and lie to yourself, and like while shooting also, I never thought like now after filming, I got to know that we used cottage cheese, we used beetroot juice. For me, everything on that set was real. The bodies
Mm,
were real, the wounds were real, and I think for every actor, it's very important to feel that things around you, every bit of it is real. Like there was the sets were actually stinking, because of the blood and all. It was actually stinking. There were bodies kept, and I think I remember like the nature of the set had become very mellow. People were genuinely like feeling there's so much of happening, so much blood, and there was the energies were not very happy, and people were not very cheerful on the sets.
mm,
So I think, and also the space that we were working in, it's a very compact, restricted, constrained space. So I
mm,
think everything worked in my favor, I feel, as an actor, because when I reached the sets, when I saw the blood, when I saw the cottage cheese, as you said, everything felt real to me for some reason. I never for a second thought that I'm putting up an act, things are fake, and so I think you cannot start feeling that. I think you need to feel everything is real around you.
Sure. Now, I mentioned dichotomy, and I think this whole idea of real versus reality, that's sort of the
Reality.
conflict that always there. Obviously, there's been an influx of violent content that really seems to have taken a liking with the audience. Obviously, last year we had John Wick, Animal, which was amazing last year. That did really well at the box office. We've had Mirzapur season 3 return, and obviously now Kill.
Yeah.
Laksh, firstly, I mean, it's a two-part question here. Why do you think there is suddenly a more preference to such content, especially in the sort of current landscape that we're living in and the current world we're living in? And secondly, obviously, I know it's a work of fiction, and of course, it's just a piece of entertainment. But was there ever a thought in the back of your mind कि कुछ ज्यादा ना हो जाए, कुछ गलत मैसेज पोर्ट्रे ना किया जाए, इस फिल्म के जरिए?
Never. Honestly, while filming it, also, I never felt that are we going over the board? Are we like crossing a line? Are we trying to? Are we sending out a wrong message? We never felt like that. We were focused on making a very sincere and honest film. It's even if you see the action is led by emotion in the film. It's not something that guy just pulls out his knife and starts killing people left, right, and center. There's a very strong motive behind his killings. There's a very strong reason behind the way he kills people. And I feel that if people are enjoying it, if they are cheering with us, I think it's probably to do with what we all as society are feeling somewhere. We feel that,
Mm,
we I think a lot of times living in a society, we are not allowed to express our voices a lot. We feel that, somebody should hear us out, somebody should, we are so restricted by everything, like laws are there. Now, in today's day and age, people are so woke and aware that you cannot just say anything. You have to be correct about stuff, you have to be right about things. And sometimes I feel that feeling has somewhere controlled all of us in a way. And when a film like this comes out where you feel there is no control, it's a feeling of like anything can happen any moment. So you start cheering for that as well. So I
sure.
feel it's a film where I've been like witnessing it a lot. I go to every screening and people are cheering, they're whistling, they're hooting, and I also feel the same thing. I said, why are people cheering to killings? I mean, it is something that is it. Should I be worried about it or should I be happy about it? I don't know how to feel about it, but
Hmm,
it is something that I've been witnessing quite a lot, and I think it's a very see, as long as people are watching it for the sake of entertainment, I'm happy.
correct.
It's great. It's only that we are not trying to like send out any message. It's a violent film, it's an action film, it's meant for entertainment. And that's the only message I would say that we try to give out by doing a film like this.
Hmm. Now, I think it's really fascinating that you've worked on a really important series like Porus. I think that really, I remember watching it back then as well. And I think your performance was fantastic in that as well. But, I think it highlighted a very important aspect about Indian history, which has been often overlooked. Um,
Correct.
but I think if we look at that and then Kill, I find it very intriguing how you've managed to really take up these roles which really combat evil and really oppressive forces. Um, I mean, again, I just to kind of sort of maybe an extension of my previous questions about, sort of introspecting, but has it also made you reflect on the world we live in as well in terms of fighting back the evils of society? Has it ever made
Yeah.
you actually understand how it feels to be a villain as well because you've had to fight it and you've come such close quarters with it in terms of the roles that you've played as well?
Uh, See, I think as long as villains and heroes are concerned, I think I don't think of my characters like that. I think we all have some degrees of heroes and villains amongst all of us. We all are villains, we all are heroes at the same time. And by doing such projects, I think I relate with my characters a lot. When I did Porus, I related with to him. When I did Amrit, I could relate with him as well because I also think on a personal level, I'm somebody like that who will stand up against somebody's bullshit. I'm somebody who will raise a voice. I am like that. So I feel when we talk about shows like Porus or we talk about films like Kill, it also sends out a very strong message that there were guys, there are people out there. Like of course, Purushottam is a real guy. What he
Mm,
did for when he stood against Alexander, it's a real story. Whereas Amrit is a fictitious character. It's a piece of fiction. But at the same time, the message is still the same. Stand up for your loved ones, stand up against bullshit. So I
mm,
think that is very clear in both the projects.
mm. Now, I think, Laksh, let's talk a bit more about your ambitions as an artist. I feel like everyone, I'm sure, who's entered this industry as an actor, एक ना एक दिन ख्वाब जरूर होता है कि मैं भी शाहरुख खान बन जाऊंगा. है ना?
Huh.
Like, I think everyone somehow it's a very subliminal dream, and rightly so. I mean, it's amazing not just to see sort of legacies of artists as well, but also the craft that they bring to that legacy. Um,
Yeah.
when you began your career with television and with a lot of the stuff that you've done, I think you've also worked with MTV as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh, What was your ambition then? And when you look back now and having done like a really big film of this nature, which is an international film now, uh, how does the Laksh of today feel in comparison to the Laksh that began then?
Okay. I think when I just came to the city, I was like 18 or 19 years old. It was in 2015 when I came to Mumbai. And that time I was just looking, for a way to prove myself. I was coming from a background where I was constantly reminded that, I'm not good enough because in Indian families, when you're not academically well, you're
Yeah,
told that, you're not good enough.
yeah.
So I feel we all relate with that concept. So I feel that, I was coming from that space where I wanted to prove myself. There was a lot of hunger, uh, and there was a lot of aggression in a very wrong manner, I feel. I was a very
Mm,
aggressive guy. I had temper issues back then, and I used to feel that I'm on a mission all the time. Like, there's a sense of what do you say, that I have to prove myself every day, every morning. So I think that has calmed down now. I think after spending 8 or 9 years, I felt that I've come, I've become more peaceful within my own personality. I have come to an understanding that, no matter what happens, the world is never going to be pleased with you. So
mm,
stop trying to please people. Stop trying to please anybody because people really don't care. Nobody cares. So be happy with yourself. Be content with the kind of work you're doing, and be nice. As simple as that. So I think so many things that I have corrected, I worked upon, and now I feel much more in control of myself, of my emotions. I feel that of course, like, there are a lot of things that still needs a lot of work, but I feel that now I feel content. I genuinely feel content. I've got a sense of gratitude which I never had, and now I feel that whatever I have, whatever little or big or small, it is more than enough for me. I
mm.
need to wake up every morning, say thank you God for the life I have, and move on. As simple as that.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think the sort of phases of heroism has changed and evolved over time in Hindi cinema. Like if we look back, we had the sort of Raj Kapoor era, the Guru Dutt era, and then we kind of
Yeah.
went into the Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra to now like the Shah Rukh Khans and Veer Kapoor era that we're living in. Uh, and obviously, I think you've definitely brought a very unique sort of twist to heroism. I would like to think because you've obviously had Porus, you've had even the other serials that you've done as well. I mean, I've not seen the other ones, so do forgive me.
Mm.
But from what I have, what I do know, of that is that you definitely have brought that sense of essence, and obviously Kill now, which is your very perfect representation of an action hero, of what we want from an action hero, someone who's
Yeah.
fit, someone who is the eye candy, but also at the same time has the emotions in place.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your idea of heroism growing up. I told you about in the previous question about before and after, and I think having done the recent roles you have done, has it also impacted, your idea of what a Hindi cinema hero should be or is?
I remember watching Border as a kid, and when I saw Border for the first time, I really felt patriotic. I really felt that, if the day comes and I will fight for my country. I don't know, it just gave me that feeling, and I feel heroism is that for me. It should be inspiring. It should be aspirational. It should make me feel something in my belly. If I look at when I see Shah Rukh Khan performing, like doing a scene, or when Ranveer Kapoor is doing a scene, it inspires me as an actor somewhere. I feel that okay, this is the kind of work I want to do. When I saw Rockstar, I to myself I said, or when I saw Tamasha, and to myself I'm like, ये कैसा काम कर रहा है यार ये काम मुझे करना है मतलब I want to be this great. When I see Irfan Khan, I say this to myself that I want to be this great. And I have seen Mr. Shah Rukh Khan as well interacting with people. When I look at him, or when I watch his interviews, the only thing that goes in my head is like, I want to sound like this. Yeah. I want to affect people like this. And everybody around Mr. Khan is just so affected by him, is so influenced, inspired by him. He just has this gift of inspiring anybody. He can inspire you in like a second, split second, and you're like in awe of him. He doesn't do anything. Just the vibe that the aura that he portrays, the energy that he has, it can easily inspire you. So I think for me also, if like so a guy, my junior from school, he reached out to me saying that we were trying, like me and my friend were trying to get into acting, and we were very skeptical. This is a very difficult industry. I don't know how to get into it. There's a lot of politics happening. There's a lot of dirt around it that they think there is. And so I don't know. We never knew how to get into it. But now, after watching a journey, after seeing you make it on the big screen, we feel inspired.
Mm,
We feel that okay, we can also do it if he can do it. And they're my juniors from school. So I think the definition of heroism will always remain the same for me, that it should inspire you
mm,
probably in your professional life, be it in your professional life or in your personal life. It should definitely move you, inspire you, and make you feel that यार ऐसा बनना है.
जी
वो मेरे लिए हीरोइज्म का मतलब है.
जी Now, थोड़ा सा vulnerabilities की बात करते हैं because on Filme Shilmy, I love doing that with artists and actually understanding a bit more about them because you mentioned earlier that before when you were breaking through and sort of getting the initial opportunities that you did, you felt a lot of anger. There was a lot of probably jazba, I guess is the right word to describe it,
Hmm.
passion,
Hmm.
ambition to succeed. What did I mean? I'm sure at that time you must have been equally very vulnerable and very emotionally heavy as well. What did those times teach you in terms of dealing with vulnerabilities? I mean, even if we look at Kill, I mean, uh, that character is literally dealing with vulnerabilities. I mean, he's
Yeah.
extremely vulnerable at that point in
Yeah.
time as well. So, what has that taught you the most?
I think it's the best gift that can happen to somebody, being vulnerable, because it's something that I tapped onto very, very late in my life. I was coming from a notion that boys don't cry. You are not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show your emotions. I came from that notion. I came from that uh, friend circle, that upbringing, that society where people used to constantly remind you, "Bhai, rota kyun hai ladki ki tarah? Mat ro." So I
Hmm.
really wish that we should stop saying that. We need to normalize crying. We need to normalize men emoting. It is very natural. It is very healthy for men to, for anybody, not only men, but just to feel your emotion, just to express what you're feeling. And I feel vulnerability is something that keeps you in check. It makes you human. It makes you realistic, which is very, very rare in today's day and age. I think everybody has just, like while growing up, also, I remember you know, how you join a gym thinking that, okay, if I put on some muscle, if I ride a bullet in Delhi, a bike, it will just make me feel macho and make me feel an alpha. But later on in my life, like as I told you, the transition phase after spending 9 years in the city, I figured that okay, that was a bubble I was living in. I was and it got the reality hit me very, very early in my life where I realized that, I need to be true to myself. I need to feel my emotions every single day. And if somebody tells me otherwise, that person has to be shut down. That person has to be told to shut down. So I feel uh, even with my character, I never when I wanted to cry, I have cried. Like my spit is coming out, my everything. You see, I've looked the ugliest in that film, but blood, everything. I was least bothered about how I'm looking while I'm crying, and I think it was spotted by this reviewer also. He said this boy cries from his heart, which
Hmm.
I also learned it very, very. I think a couple of years back, it happened to me in the lockdown where I felt like it's normal to cry, it's okay to cry. So I think yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, I think that's what's important as well because I feel like, this film could have easily been, I mean, even if we went by the film that you were supposed to do earlier, I mean, at least, I feel like a lot of times where actors are so hell-bent nowadays, especially new actors, are kind of in a way gagging to have a show reel of a film for their debut rather than actually showing something which is a bit more craft-driven,
Mm.
which actually shows a bit more about their caliber as actors. Again, Lakshya, we were talking about before and after, and I think I would like to continue that theme. Was there ever that sense of you, let's just say, maybe like a student of the year format? Do you know what I'm saying? Was there ever that sort of a desire for you, Are yaar, mere ko bhi ek, Karan Johar muse banna hai. I mean, you kind of like have joined, you've been a part of the DCA and you've been a part of Dharma
हाँ हाँ
anyway.
हाँ हाँ
But
हाँ.
was there ever that like dream as well for you?
सर ड्रीम ऐसा नहीं था मेरा बिकॉज इट वाज टू गुड टू बी ट्रू ऑनेस्टली. आई
Hmm.
कम फ्रॉम दिल्ली. आई स्टे इन मालूम नगर. तो वहां पे ही सपना देखना दैट आई वांट टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ धर्मा फिल्म एंड स्टूडेंट ऑफ द ईयर. इट कांट हैपन. इट इज टू far fetched. It's unreal. You cannot be dreaming this big. And so you can, but then I can dream of owning a house or owning a car, but धर्मा में एंट्री मिलना, बॉलीवुड ज्वाइन करना, ये सब कौन सोचता है? You can't even think about all these things.
True.
तो आप इनके बारे में सोचते नहीं हो, बट when I took sabbatical from television, I left television in 2018. And that time I had done Porus, and Porus was the biggest show on television. And as an artist, I felt very content with that show. And I felt, what more can I contribute to TV? I really want to like test myself, give myself one shot, and see if I can make it into movies. That time, Dharma was never in my list. Also, I was, I used to, I won't say small or big, but I used to reach out to people who had done good films, but like not on this large scale, because Dharma, they are known for big films, big budget films. They release their films like you see what they have done with Kill. So I felt probably I will start you know easy, go with the small, and then eventually get into stuff like YRF and Dharma and Excel and all these big people, big players. But probably God had a different plan for me,
Hmm.
and sometimes when you don't ask for it, you get it. I was really undermining myself. I was really selling myself short, and probably God had different plans for me.
Beautiful plan indeed it was. But I have to
Yeah,
tell you, Lakshya, it was so surreal when we went for the screening, because this was obviously by Lionsgate. So when we went,
yeah.
it was at Cineworld IMAX in Leicester Square. And
Wow.
honestly, when the Dharma logo played, oh my God,
Yes.
it was insane. You know, like when you were seeing a bunch of international audiences who wouldn't watch Hindi films or Indian films otherwise, except for RRR or any other sort of
Uh,
internationally acclaimed film, sitting them and gasping at a Dharma film, it and the Sikhya obviously film as well. It was just it was insane. You know,
it was insane.
I mean for you as well internationally, there must have been a lot of love because I know there's like they're gonna be remaking Kill in Hollywood
Yes.
as
Yes.
well. So, I mean, you know, you've not just made it into Hindi cinema, you've made it into international platforms now as well. So, what has that international exposure meant for you, not just in terms of, congratulatory stuff, but maybe in terms of opportunities and navigating yourself and pushing that envelope as an artist as well?
I still have to discover that area. I haven't, honestly. I've been getting a lot of inquiries from the West, and they really want to like meet and see how things pan out for me, which I'm really grateful for. I think when it really happened, it started happening to me when we went for the Toronto Film Festival. When we went to Toronto, and that time nobody knew me. Nobody knew our film. Nobody knew where we are coming from, what kind of film we have got them. And after watching the film, they only started calling me Kill, Kill, Kill. Nobody knew my name. They didn't know my name was Laksh. They were just calling me Kill, Kill, Kill. So I think my work, when your work becomes your identification, there's nothing that can beat that. It's the best feeling in the world where people are just complimenting you for your work. They're calling your film's name. So I think it really gave me that sense of confidence which I was seeking for a very long time as an artist. Because I've been on the sidelines, I've been a spectator, and I was just waiting for a moment to arrive where I'm talked about, where I feel relevant as an actor, as an artist. So I think that really helped me. The international acclaim, the recognition, the applause that happened in Toronto, and in, of course, followed by Tribeca Film Festival and the other festivals. So it really worked like a fuel. I
Hmm.
was probably working on the last 5 or 6% of battery, and suddenly somebody put a charger and I was all charged up.
Hmm. And I feel like with actors of television, and I wanted to mention this earlier when you spoke about this, is that I feel like they have a natural sense of capturing emotions and raw emotions. Because I feel like the sort of content we see on Indian television is quite sentimental in nature, very poignant in nature.
Right.
And I think if we see like so many actors have flourished from them. I mean, Moni, Runal, um, obviously Sushant when he was alive, but so
Yeah.
many Ankita, so many different actors have
Terrific
been
actors. Yeah.
amazing. I mean, now you're joining that legacy as well. So, कहीं ना कहीं हमने emotions की बात की थी earlier. Do you feel also because you've worked on television, because of the medium itself, is it kind of appeals to a very sentimental, sort of driven audience? Do you think that somehow has also subliminally played a big role in you being able to emote more naturally on the big screen, regardless of the medium and regardless of where it's going?
Absolutely. 100%. There's no denying that. As an actor, as a human being, whatever I've learned in my life, I think 99% a huge credit has to be given to my TV experience and the days I had spent on TV sets. I've worked in like four, uh, you know, prime TV shows. I worked with Sony, I worked with Star, I worked with MTV. So what happens in TV, the nature of television is such that you have to always be in that zone of performance. You have to always perform. You cannot, like in films, you can still take your time. The directors give you time. You have like months to prepare. You have days to prepare for your scene. But in TV, there's a new challenge every day. There's a new scene every day, and that scene can be uh, extremely challenging, or it can be nothing also. So you don't know what's going to happen next. So it really trains you as an actor, technically, and somebody, you just have to like keep your emotions in check. And technically it teaches you so much that because every time you have to, the speed is such, it's very fast, the TV sets. You have to like shoot 20 minutes of footage every day, at least 18 minutes of footage every day. So you have to be fast, you have to be on your toes. You need to know your marks, you need to know where the light is coming from, you need to know your dialogues, you need to know your co-actor's dialogue so that you can react. Sometimes the actor is not there, the dates are not there, actors have to leave. So it just trains you as an actor. Like I don't think any other platform can train you the way TV trains you. It's a
Mm,
huge, huge blessing for me.
right. We talk about the international acclaim, the sort of the exposure that you got from it. But I think now going forward, Laksh, what can we look forward to seeing you in next? And how do you think this has really kind of, in a way, or do you hope that will actually also cement maybe your sort of standing, your positioning as an actor?
Okay, so that's something I have no idea of right now. I'm just uh flowing with this wave, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. I'm living this moment because I've waited for too long for these days to come, and now finally the day is here. So I really want to cherish every moment of it. And then what future holds for me is something I have no idea. I'm still waiting. I really hope that I get to work with good filmmakers. I really hope that I get to associate myself with good scripts and get a chance to work with good actors. So right now I'm just flowing with time.
All right, but if given the opportunity and a script comes your way,
Yeah.
what is something, I mean, again, a two-part question, is something that you will accept, and what is something that you might be a little hesitant on taking up on, and why?
I think anything that I read, which, while doing Kill also, I learned so much about myself. I didn't even know that I'm good at action. After doing Kill, I realized that, okay, I'm probably good at doing action. So something that might bring out some other aspect of me as an actor or as a human being, something that I get to learn from the script or challenges me as an actor. So why not? I think I'll give it a shot. And I've tasted blood now. So if something around action comes my way, I would do it for sure. But has to be a good script and again, driven by emotion and driven by a strong reason.
All right. Well, look, I'm really excited to see more from you. I think Killed has definitely left us on such a big crescendo. We're definitely looking
Yeah,
forward to that. So, thank you so much, Laksh, for joining us on Filme Shilmy. It's been such a
my
pleasure
pleasure.
to
Thank you.
have you. Really have enjoyed every moment of this interview. And thank you for giving us your UK exclusive as well. It's such a big honor for us as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Anush. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.